said that. Woo! And looked, better yet. We are
That's good.
recording
Everything I
today's
said earlier
session.
is not on record.
Yeah. We're
There you go.
recording today's session, so I will be emailing the recording out hopefully later today. I know some people can't be with us today, but want it before tomorrow, so I'm going to try and get that out before this afternoon. So we're recording, and I will be sending that out with any of the resources that John and Catherine are sharing as well today. And if you're looking for your PDH, please stick around till the very end of the webinar. I will be putting that link in the chat window. It does require live attendance to get that, so make sure that you stick around and click the link for that PDH, and then there's a little bit of back and forth on that, but it will be in the chat window at the end of today's session. So any other questions, please go ahead and throw that in the chat window. Otherwise, I'm going to turn myself off. And John and Catherine, it's all you. Thanks for being here today.
All right, let's roll that beautiful bean footage. So here we go. All right, so today's session, Catherine, go ahead and tell us who you are.
Yeah, so I'm Catherine Capiello. I live here in Chicago, so in Illinois, like majority of you, I'm sure. You can follow me at bookcreator_cat, or shoot me an email at catherine@bookcreator.com. I am a former educator myself. I've taught kinder all the way through high school.
I to add it to the other one.
So, and just remember to mute yourself. Perfect. And I can help you with any brainstorming sessions you need for using Book Creator in your classroom. And John?
Okay. Great. Yeah. And just a quick reminder, I heard a couple of things in the background. Just remember, mute yourself, no video. If you have questions, throw those in the chat window. We'll be sure to answer those questions. And I'll try to mute upstairs with my children. It won't work. All right. And I'm John Smith. I am the iPod teacher on Twitter and John Smith at bookcreator.com. So if you have questions afterwards, again, reach out to us, let us know. I've taught special ed for 12 years. I was a technology integration specialist for 7. I'm teacher success manager here at Book Creator now. And let's see, husband, father of 3, love golf and love washing cars. I think that's about it. That's me in a nutshell. All right, so today, what are we going to do? Today, we are going to start talking about Book Creator. We're going to take a deep dive into all of the features of Book Creator that you can use with your students. And then I'm very excited about tomorrow. So I'm just going to give you, again, a little heads up about tomorrow. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's a 1-book, 1-hour project. So today, you're going to learn all the nuts and bolts. Tonight, your homework is to get good at it, because tomorrow, the mic drops and we are going to have some real fun. It's going to be really stressful and really chaotic, and you guys are going to love it. And we're going to make a book in 1 hour. So just want you to know that. Now, depending on all the questions and how this goes today too, I may have to drop out a little before 2 o'clock because I have another webinar I have to get set up. But we'll be all good. So Catherine will be in good hands here with you all, and if you have any more things to talk about. Yeah. All right. So before we get started, here is a library code that you can use to join our library today. Catherine is going to put this into the chat window so that you can join this library. And it's going to
go to bookcreator.com, sign in, and then join this library, because this is where you're going to be able to access all this.
Yep. And I will go over this again here in just a minute. But before we do that, we're going to play, right? We're going to have some time here to play. So what we're going to do is I'm going to back out here. I'm going to pull up Safari real quick. And this is, if you don't have an account yet, this is what you need to do. So if you go to app.bookcreator.com, you will see a sign-in page. And there are 2 types of sign-ins here. There's a student sign-in. Students can sign in with Google Office QR code or Clever. And then there is a teacher sign-in. And with the teachers, sign in with Google, Office, email, or Clever. Make sure that you click on this button that says teacher, right? If you are a teacher and you accidentally click student, log out, click teacher, sign in again, and everything will be okay. But at Book Creator, we take privacy very seriously, and we really want students to be under the student tab, okay? Students should not be teachers. And if they are, then we need to get that fixed, because like I said, we take privacy very seriously. We've done lots of contracts with lots of schools, lots of states, lots of organizations. And when students sign in as teacher, all that privacy stuff that we have agreed to with schools kind of gets thrown out the window, and we don't want anybody to get in trouble. So make sure your students sign in as students. And again, just a reminder, make sure your audio and your video is turned off, and we'll keep moving along here. So when you go to your teacher sign in tab, you sign in with Google. If you've never created an account, the first thing that it's going to ask you to do is to answer some questions, all right? Very simple questions. What do you teach? What grade level? Things like that. Once you've created or answered those questions, it's going to ask you to create a library. So you're just going to call it whatever you want. It doesn't matter at this point. You're going to create a library. When you create that library, you'll see something that looks very similar to what I have on my screen now, except you won't have any books, right? You'll have no books in your library, and that's okay. From there, you'll get a chance to make books later, right? You'll hit the plus button, the new book here. You can create your own books. You can get started, have some fun. But for our purposes, the thing I want to show you today is at the top left, there is I'm now calling it the hamburger menu. Somebody called that the other day, and now it's stuck in my brain. I can't get it out. So I'm going to click the hamburger menu. This is your teacher dashboard. So from your teacher dashboard, you'll be able to create libraries, which you then can create books in. With our free plan, you get this locked library here, and that's for you to put books in. It's rough draft area, just kind of play around, have some fun. Students cannot join this. Students cannot make books in here. It's just for you. Then you get one free library with our free plan, and that is where you will be able to make books and invite students and have fun. All right, so keep an eye on that. That's where you're going to go. Then today, for you guys, you're going to want to scroll down to the bottom. It's going to be a shorter journey than mine was just there. And you're going to click this Join a Library button, and you're going to enter that code. And that code is in the chat window again. That code, which Catherine just put in there, will get you into our library. All right. And then once you're in our library, I went too far. This is what you should see. All right. You'll see this, these books. All right. You'll see the book that we just were talking in, and now you'll see this playground book. And a couple of things I want to show you here. When you invite students into your library, you're going to click this little code right here at the top, right? And there it is. There's our code. And that's how they join. When students join, you've got a couple of options. You can just say, okay, make books. And now they click the plus new book button at the top, and they start making books in your library. Every kid can have their own book. The other option is what we're going to do today, and that is we're going to take this playground book and we're going to turn on collaboration. All right, so under the book, there's a share button. And if I click the share button, there's a button here that says collaborate. Now, when I click collaborate, it's just going to let me start collaboration because I have that type of plan. With our free plan, collaboration normally is only a 14-day trial. Right now, we're giving away the collaboration for everybody for 90 days. All right, so it's not a upgraded package. It's just the collaboration feature. We're turning that on for 90 days for everybody. So even if it says 14 days, you'll get 90 days. All right, this collaboration button is what's going to allow everybody who joins my library to then edit inside this book in real time together. All right, now we've got a lot of people in this webinar today, which is fantastic. So we may need to add extra pages to the book, and that's fine, no big deal. But once I turn on collaboration, this play button that you guys see will then become a pencil. So if you're good at multitasking and you want to be part of this book, jump in and have some fun. So I'm going to click share, I'm going to click collaborate, and I'm going to start. And now that book is open for collaboration. Let me turn this off real quick. I don't know why that's there. All right, so we're going to turn this on for collaboration. So now, if you click inside this book, I can see Sheena, John, Stephanie, Samantha, Liz, Sean, all these people are joining my book. Now, John, I'm going to pick on you, John Clausen. I see a red line. Sean Hankin, I see you clicking on my stuff. Don't be messing my page up. Don't mess it up. All right, now, there you go. They left. Now, what I need you to do is find a blank page. So in the book, I've only got about I put a good pile, 40 pages in there. Just find a blank page. Doesn't matter which one. Just make sure that you're not on the same page that somebody else is on. All right. So I see like on page 2 here, I see 2 little heads popping up. You guys are going to have to arm wrestle, or somebody's just going to have to move on, right? We probably can't arm wrestle because of social distancing and all, but whatever. Find a blank page. All right. So I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom here. I'm going to make this easy. Oh, somebody beat me to it. Somebody's already on page 40. Awesome. I'm going to go to page 40. Watch this. I'm going to make a new page. All right, there we go. I'm on page 41. So on page 41, I'm going to start, and I'm going to go through all the features. All right, so the most important buttons in Book Creator are at the top. They're the plus button and the I button right next to it. So plus button allows you to add content. The I button, the inspector, allows you to change or manipulate that content. So I'm gonna click plus button. We've got media, comics, and shapes. So I'm gonna start with shapes, which are my least favorite. We're gonna work our way up. All right, so starting with shapes, if I choose a square, a circle, or a rounded rectangle, then you can type in those shapes. If you choose a triangle, star, or arrow, or some of these others, you cannot type in those shapes. So I'm gonna click on a shape, and I'm gonna add it to my page. All right, so there's my shape. Yeah, I can resize it, move it around, do things I need to do to it there. If I double click inside my shape, I can type in it. Once I've typed in it and it's outlined in blue, I click the inspector, and now I can change the color of my shape. I can add a shadow. I can add a border. If I choose border, I can then choose a border color. I can then choose the border width. I can change the text settings. So I've got all these different fonts. My personal favorite is Open Dyslexic, a font for dyslexic students. I can then change the color of the text, and I can then change the size. All right, and so I've got some really cool things here, and now I've just taken a boring shape and I've made something fun with it. I love asking kids to do things with just shapes. So like design your favorite scene from the book with just shapes. Tell us your favorite storybook character with just shapes. Make a timeline, make graphic organizers, make mind maps. Catherine put her shape off to the side here. So one of the things that teachers are really doing right now is using shapes for feedback, right? We don't have a Google style feedback option, but what teachers are doing is they're putting text in the shape over here to the side, and now students can read the text and say, here's the things I need to change on my page. So there's shapes. Absolutely love shapes, even though I tease and say they're my least favorite. There's still some really cool things that you can do with shapes. All right, next, plus button. The next column we're going to focus on is media, and there is a lot happening under the media category. On the first one is the import button. So with the import button, the very first thing that pops up is a Google image search. So now we can search Google right from here, and we don't need to go out to another tab or out to another browser or whatever. We can search right from here. So I'm going to click on an image. I'd search dog. I click on the image. There is a link. So if you need to cite it, there's the link underneath the image. But I click select, and now that image gets added to the page. I can resize that image. I can move it around, and I can even rotate the image. All right, which is really cool. Couple things. All of these Google images are Google safe search images. So they are the safest images that Google allows. These are the exact same searches that are found in Google Docs, Google Slides, right? It's exactly the same. Does that mean it's 100% safe? Absolutely not. Just because random things do happen from time to time, you just need to be aware of it. But these are the safest images they allow. They are labeled for commercial reuse with modification, and they are labeled as non-attribution. So these are about as safe as you get. From here, if I click my image and it's outlined in blue, I can click the inspector button. I can hyperlink my image to a website or even to a page. So now when somebody clicks on a dog, it'll take them to a dog adoption website or the local pet store. Or if I have it set up for a page number, I can click on a dog, it takes me to page 10. So I think like choose your own adventure stories. John went to a pet store. Did he want to buy the dog or the goldfish? Click on the dog, takes you to page 10. Click on the goldfish, takes you to page 5. So some really cool things you can do there. And then there's also an accessibility text option. So if I click on a text and put some in there, I can then have accessibility text for people with visual impairments. So when they're reading the book, they click the play button, book's being read to them. Now it doesn't leave out the images. All right, so I really like that feature. Plus button, media, import. The next one over is Google Maps. And so with Google Maps, I can put in an address. So this is mine. If I go to satellite, and I can zoom in a little bit. There's my house. There's my wife's car. I guarantee I just got done washing it because there's a kids and pressure washer in the driveway there. I have my map. I can move it around. I can resize it. This is a really good opportunity then to go into our shapes, pull in maybe like an arrow and say, there's the clean car, label it, do fun things. Love the idea of using Google Maps for historic timelines of kids' own events in their lives, things like that. I think it's great, really cool feature there. Google Maps. Plus button, media, import. The next one over is files. So with files, I can pull in PDFs, documents, slideshows, audio, video, images, things like that from my computer. I click open, and what it does is it puts it onto your Book Creator page as a little link box kind of thing. And so when I click on it, I'm not going to do this because this is a privacy document. When I click on this, it will open up the PDF in a little pop-up window, and then you can scroll up and down around the PDF. I've seen teachers use this where they'll put an article in here as a PDF. Students have to read the article and then go over here and answer questions on a page or make a page based on that article. Oops, I did hit it anyway. Oh, there we go. Got it out of there. So then I'll delete that. Again, same thing is true with photos, video, audio, that kind of stuff. You can also connect to your Google Drive, and it will do the same thing. So anything you have in your Google Drive, photos, slideshows, videos, documents, you can pull those into your book as well. And then the last one, whoops, I hit the wrong button. And the last one under the Import tab is my favorite, and this is the Embed feature. So with the Embed feature, the easiest is to go to YouTube. And in YouTube, if I click on a video, so we'll go with this, this changing the oil in this guy's Porsche. Click on the pause button there so we don't hear it. But underneath your video in YouTube, there's a share button. If you click share, there's a button to the left that says embed. If you click on the embed code, there's this code means absolutely nothing to me, but all I need to do is click on it, go back to my book, and paste that code right here and confirm the link. And now I see the video, the website, and the title. I click add to book, and now that video is added directly into the book. And when I click play, you'll notice the video starts right away. What's nice about this is there are no commercials at the beginning, no commercials at the end, no chat underneath, and no sidebar, right? Which is where kids get into trouble a lot. So I love the embed feature. The embed code feature works pretty much with anything that has an embed code. Any website that has an embed code. YouTube, Vimeo, Soundtrap files, Flipgrid videos, explain everything, Desmos calculators, basically anything that has an embed code, you can put right into Book Creator. All right, so very cool there. Plus button, media. The next one down is the camera tool. So with the camera, we've got two options. You can take a still picture, click use, and add that to your page. The other option here is I can click the plus button, media, camera, and now I can click record video. So I can click record video, gives you that countdown, get that last burp out of the way. Hey everybody, John Smith here. Hope you're having a great day. Hit stop, and now I've got that video that I can put right into the book. I think video is great. Now maybe it's the special ed side of me coming out, but I love video because students don't always write real well, or they can't always draw, right? So being able to document their learning by using video is amazing, all right? Absolutely amazing. If you have your video highlighted in blue and you click the inspector button, you can also add captions. And so what's really great about this, you click add captions, you choose the language that you want it to be in, generate automatically, and it will take my video and it will put captions on there. We have 120 different languages that you can choose from. You don't have to watch the bouncing dots. You click back, you move about your business, continue working on your book, and in a minute or so, the captions will then appear on the video, right? Which is amazing. So I definitely recommend you checking that out. We do have some other accessibility features that we may or may not get to today, but there are definitely some really awesome things in there to help students, all right? So I'm gonna let that work on itself, and I'm gonna continue on. Plus button, media. Oh, it says captions already. How fast was that? Let's take a look. So here it goes. So I'm gonna click play. Hey everybody, John. There you go. You can see the captions are right there on the screen. If I don't like those, if I need to edit something, like I know my name is spelled wrong there, I click add captions, edit captions, and then I can go in here and I can actually edit those captions the way I want them to be. I click done and they're ready to go. All right, so I love captions. Next, plus button, media, the pen tool. Love the pen tool. So with the pen tool, you can annotate over top of images, you can annotate over top of text, things like that. But we've got some different things here. So if I click the black dot, I can change the colors. Everybody's favorite is magic ink. So as I'm drawing with my magic ink, the ink is automatically changing colors, which people go absolutely crazy over. I'm gonna go back to just a normal color here for a second. And then I go to the pen tools. So we've got a marker, a brush, a crayon, a highlighter, and then everybody's favorite, the showstopper, auto draw. And so when I click on auto draw, I'm going to draw something here. Now, if you have kids above 5th or 6th grade, you ask them to draw, usually they get mad at you. If they aren't mad at you yet, they are when you tell them you have to draw on a trackpad, right? Because drawing on a trackpad is awful. Well, I'm going to try to draw a bike, right? So, oh, that's not a bad circle. That one's a little bit worse, right? But I'm drawing a bike here. Kind of looks like a Flintstone wagon. But if you look at the top, auto draw is trying to figure out what it is that I'm drawing. And so I click on this bike right here. That's the one I want. It fixes my bike. I can resize it, move it around the screen. If I click the blue X, I can then go back here and change some colors. Maybe if I go to Magic Ink, click the fill bucket, and then start filling this in. I've got this really cool looking bike now. We have emojis, which you can use. You don't have to use them on drawings, but you can add them to your book page. I can take this emoji, resize it, and now it's my back tire. So now it looks like a Tour de France bike. When I'm done, I click the done button, and now that image that I drew becomes resizable. I can move it around the screen. I can make it pop wheelies. All right, we're having some fun with the auto draw. So I haven't looked at the chat. I imagine there's a whole bunch of oohs and ahs and oh my goodnesses in there because the auto draw is awesome. It's a great, great feature. Now, couple pieces of advice. When you do auto draw, if you want your items to be resizable independent of each other, make separate drawings. So like if I click done here and add like a whole bunch of other drawings over here on my screen and hit done, they all move together. All right, they all move together. So if you want your images to be separate, draw an image, click done. Go back to pen tool, draw another image, click done, and then they are all separate. Plus button, media. The next one down is text. With the text, if I just start typing in some text, there we go. You can bold, italicize, or underline. If you highlight it, click the link. You can link your text to a specific website or to a page number, which is great. We also have a microphone over here so you can do speech to text. I love telling kids that they can write with their face, right? Because they don't have to be good at typing. They don't have to be good at spelling. They can just use their mouth, right? Which is what they're really good at doing, right? They can put that in there, which is awesome. You can also do speech to text in 120 different languages. So when you click the microphone, a drop down will appear over here. You choose the language you want, and then you can speak in that language and it will do text. So I did Spanish, so I'll click the microphone. Cuando es tu cumpleaños? Click stop. There it is. When is your birthday? I click done, and now I have a text box. So I can move that around the screen. Once it's outlined in blue, if I click the inspector button, I can drag the slider and change the size of my text. Left, center, right, justify, bold, italicize, underline, change the font, change the color, add a background. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Add a background if you want. I'm not a fan of backgrounds, but some people like them. Add a shadow, move it front to back, or delete. So there's a lot of great things you can do with text. Now, I get this question a lot. John, if I have a 4-page Google Doc, can I copy it, paste it into Book Creator, and make a 4-page book? The answer is no. What it does is it makes a really, really ugly text box. So if you're going to copy and paste from Google, you want to be very strategic on how you move things and where you put them. All right? Next, last one under the media category is the record button. And I love the record button. Click start. Again, gives you that countdown. Hey, everybody. Hope you're having a great time this morning, this afternoon, whatever time it is for you, learning about Book Creator. Hit stop and use recording. And now I've got this little play button that I can resize, move around the screen, and I can have that button there for my students. I've used this with reading fluency. I've used it for sound effects. I've used it for students who played musical instruments in the background. And we even have teachers that are using this now, this audio record button, to leave feedback for their students so that they don't have to do the text boxes off the side. They just play this little audio feedback. Catherine even has an example of a teacher who used, she took pictures of a published book and put those into Book Creator. Now, she did get author permission from the author, so don't worry about that. But she was able to then put audio to go along with the pictures. So the teacher was reading the page. It was really cool, super fantastic. So highly recommend, the record button. I use it a lot.
It's actually
All
from
right.
a teacher in Illinois too. So I'm going to post it in the chat so you can see it.
Awesome. All right. And so I did get a question, and I don't know, we'll take a break here and answer a couple of questions. But one of the questions I think was, are we an approved ed tech vendor for Chicago Public Schools? The short answer is, I think so. I remember we did, I think it was like 1 or 2 individual teachers from Chicago Public Schools that did purchase licenses. So I'm assuming we are, since they got through that process. The longer answer is, if we're not, then let us know, and we'll be happy to sign whatever we need to sign in order to get in there. So yeah, so if you're from Chicago Public Schools, talk to whoever you need to talk to at your district level. See if we're in there. If not, let us know. We'll fill out the paperwork. Always
I believe,
happy.
yes. I did ask the team. We're just waiting. They're on England time, so sometimes it takes a while to get back. But I believe I'm almost 100% that we are. But
Like
yeah.
99.862% sure. All right, Catherine, any other questions that we need to address?
Hey guys, I got one privately, so I want to make sure that, because you guys won't see it. How much is it normally to keep a membership?
That's a
I'll
good question.
post it on here too.
Okay, yep, Catherine will put the information in there, but just the quick version, 40 books for free. You can use that forever as long as you don't get to the 40 books. The next step up is $60, gives you 180 books split evenly between 3 libraries, and then there's $120, gives you 1,000 books, unlimited libraries. We do offer discounts though when you start purchasing in bulk. So if that's something you're interested in, please reach out to Catherine or I, and we're more than happy to help answer those questions. All right, anything else, Catherine, or keep going?
A few more questions. If you sign up for a membership, do you have to renew every year? No, you do not. If you do, you can also pay monthly for the smaller plans too. So that's an option if you need it for the rest of the school year. And then I had several questions about the 90 days. Just to clarify, the only thing that's 90 days right now is the collaboration. So you can access Book Creator past the 90 days. It's just turning on the collaboration. So I'm going to clarify that because it seemed like some people were thinking you wouldn't have access to your books. You will.
Yeah, 90 days, we're not going to chop you off, right? It's just
the
collaboration. All right, moving on. The last category is comics. So if you hit the plus button and click on comics, we have some options here. We've got different panels. So if I choose a panel style, I've got some cool things that you can do here. So if you click in a panel, you can do the Google image search. And I'll put the dog back in there. And what's nice is the dog automatically fits inside the panel. If you click the arrows, you can resize the dog and move it around to fit your needs. If you can also click inside the panel and choose your camera. All right, there we go. We'll take a picture. I did it on purpose. Some people were like, what happened to his face? I'm kind of stuck with it, but that face is on purpose. All right, so there we go. We've got these 2 pictures in here. Now, if I click the plus button, I can add speech bubbles. I can resize this. I can also then click the inspector and change the color, shadow, border, and text inside the bubble. I can click the plus button and do a thought bubble. So maybe we do something like this, move it around, say, which is the same thing I said in the last thought bubble that I made. All right, so there we go. You can also then add text. So we've got some pre-stylized comic text. My personal favorite here is the caption button. And when I put caption and drag this over, it is now really starting to come together and really start to look like a comic panel. And then the last one under there is stickers. So we've got some pre-stylized stickers that you can choose from. And then we also have some blank stickers that you can then use. If you want, you can pick a blank one, and then you can click the plus button and add text on top. And I can just say, cool, hit done, and then I can add that to the page there. One more thing, and then I'm going to answer a few questions that I think we have. If I click this white space around the outside edge, I click the inspector. Now I can change the background, and I can make some really cool comic-y looking backgrounds. All right, Catherine, let's do this. How many questions we got?
We have a lot. So I wanted to pause real quick. I think it might be best for you just to look in the chat and scroll up, or I can start answering them.
All right, let's do this. So Renew every year? No. Okay, how do we get into the sidebar? Hello,
I already
library
answered
tab.
that one. We're good.
Okay. Sorry. Let me start at the bottom. Share my book as a video format on Seesaw, but the embedded YouTube video doesn't play. Is there a way to make the link accessible when it is loaded into Seesaw? So here's my suggestion with Seesaw. So if you share your book as a video, you probably did it from the iPad app. The online version does not allow you to share a book as a video. My suggestion, publish the book with all the videos and stuff in it, publish it online, and copy that link and paste that into Seesaw. And I think that that is a really great way to share. And if you do that, once you click on the link, all of the videos and things that are in your book will play. So the iPad app, like I said, was a little bit different. All right, can you flip images? No. Speech bubbles? No. After you insert them, you cannot. So that is not a feature that we have currently. Can I share my with parents through the app, remind or email? If so, how? So if you, so Patricia, a couple questions, so a couple thoughts here, and maybe you can type in some clarifying questions. If you're going to share a book that you have made that you just want your parents to see, then you would publish the book, get the link. And I'll get there at, toward the end. I haven't gotten there quite yet. You'll publish the book, get the link, and send that to your parents through Remind, email, newsletter, whatever. If you want your students to create something, then what you need to do is you need to create your library, invite your students to join your library, and then they can make inside the library. We do not have parent accounts, all right? Stephanie says, can I assign a book on Google Classroom? Yes, but not in the way that you think. So in Google Classroom, what you're going to do is you're just going to post a message that says, go to app.bookcreator.com, put in this code, join my library, and make a book. When they're done, there is no turn-in button so that you know that they're finished. You as a teacher just need to go into the library and see what those students have done. Okay? Did I get them?
Yeah, you can also post the link to a published book. I just put it in the chat too, Stephanie, so that they can at least, they could read a specific book directly to the Google Classroom.
Awesome.
I believe it's hard with the chat window.
Yeah. Let me keep going, and if we see
slide deck and record the voice.
Say again?
Can you import a Google slide deck and then record voice with it?
So when you import a Google slide deck, what it's going to look like is this. You're going to click import, and I don't even think I have a Google slide deck. So let me just pull a file in real quick. So when I pull in like a PDF, this is what your Google slide deck is going to look like. All right, it's going to be a pop-up window. And when you click it, you'll be able to get into the deck and navigate. So what I don't think is going to happen is you're not going to be able to click play and then click the button and kind of go through it. So it's not going to work in the way that you think. I'll be honest, Catherine and I talk about this all the time. I don't use slides for anything anymore, right? Whether it's Keynote or slides or anything, I build presentations in Book Creator because it's a lot easier for me, and I can use the record button and all those different features. So if you have something that's already done, you can pull it in and view it, but you can't really pull it in and then add audio and funky stuff to it. All right. So those are all of the main features inside Book Creator. So I'm gonna move on a little bit, and then I'll go back and get some more questions here if we've got them. If I click Pages View, I can see all of the work that you are doing today. So you guys are smashing it, right? Great stuff. Love it. Love what I'm seeing. What I do want to caution you about, though, is that this view, Pages View, does not update 100% in real time. All right, so if I look at page 7 here, I might think that whoever's on page 7 is doing nothing. If I click on it, I can see that Michelle actually has done work, right? So I don't want you to grade from this view. It does update, it just doesn't update quickly, right? So you just got to be careful from this view. From here, you can also drag and move pages around. If you click the 3 dots, you can copy, move, insert pages, and even delete pages, which is fantastic. If I back out of here and go back to my books, I want to talk about a few things here. Again, I got about 8 more minutes, and I need to jet. Catherine will be able to help answer some other things if we still have questions. But from here, there's the settings icon at the top. If I click here, I can rename the library, turn on or off Google Image Search, turn on or off students editing their own books, turn on or off students reading each other's books, and turn on or off the ability for students to publish their own books. I know that scares some people. I can also archive a library. So if I'm on a free plan, let's say, and I've filled a library with books and I've out of space, I can archive that library. And then that way it frees up 40 more books in a new library that I can use. All right, it's not ideal, but it does work. I can also publish an entire library. So if I click here, answer a few questions, I get a link. Any book that's in that library then can be viewed by whoever has that link. Underneath the book, there's an icon, there's an icon of 3 books. You can import a book from another location, move your book from one library to another, copy your book, combine books, or delete books. So I love the combine book feature specifically because if I have 100 books in my, or 50 books in my library, 40 books in my library, 20 books, whatever, I can then click combine them all into one, and then I can delete all the rest and I have just one really nice book. On the bottom, there's a share button in the middle. One published online is the first option. If I click it once, I then check my details. If I publish again, there it is. That book is now available online. If I click this blue link and copy this blue link right here, I can then email that out to people and they can view the book online. Please be mindful of student privacy. If your parents have signed non-media release forms, things like that, please make sure you're aware of that before you do that. Also underneath the share button there is the stop collaboration or turn it on. Download the book as an ebook, which turns it into an EPUB file. So you have Apple Books or Book Creator, you can then view it. You can also send your file to Google Drive, just store it. And then you can also print. So this prints out as a PDF. It's not fantastic. It's not hardback book. We're not doing that kind of stuff. It's just a PDF. I have seen some schools that have gotten very ambitious and they've taken that PDF, sent it off to a school print shop and made hardback books. We just don't do that. All right. So that was your whirlwind of Book Creator information. Hopefully you're getting lots and lots of ideas of how you can use this in your classroom with your students. Hopefully you're excited so that you can then join us tomorrow where we are going to make a book together in real time in an hour. And so you're just going to use the same link that we did today for the Zoom. You're going to join us tomorrow. So your homework for tomorrow is be prepared, right? Get yourself practiced up a little bit with Book Creator. Make sure you know what you're doing because tomorrow we're going to have some serious, serious fun and we're going to make a book in real time. All right, Catherine, do we have any questions that we may have missed?
Why don't, I know you need to go, so how about I share my screen so I can continue because we still have.
Sounds good. I'll stop share. And I think you can share, Catherine.
Okay. Yeah, so just start putting any questions in the box. Let me see, share. Can you see?
I'll stick around for a couple more minutes here just to help out while we're doing this. So yeah, what are some of your thoughts too while we're doing this? What are some of your thoughts about how to use Book Creator in your classroom? Are you guys excited?
My question is, are we only supposed to see 2 books right now, the Your Playground and IdeaWeb, or there's another Join Library? Was there another code to access other books that were done?
So right now, the books that you should be seeing are just the 2 books. I see that somebody has built another book inside of our library, and that's fine for right now. It's just these 2 books. Tomorrow, we're going to give you a different library code to join, and you're going to be able to join our Getting Started with, our One Book, 1 Hour project, but that won't come until tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
John, would you like to discuss the difference between Book Creator and Google Slides?
Sure. So this is a question that we get from time to time. And I'll be honest, I think I may be oversimplifying this, but Book Creator is very easy. I can teach Book Creator to a student in kindergarten in about 3 minutes with very little effort. I would say that's different than Google Slides. You can record audio directly from the book. You don't have to record it somewhere else like you do with Google Slides. Google Slides, you can put audio in there, but you have to, like I said, you have to record it in GarageBand or, whatever else it is that you, Audacity, something like that, and then upload it. The other thing that with Google, specifically Google Slides, is that you can put video in, but those videos have to be from YouTube. You cannot just upload video from your own. I think you can upload video now from your Drive, but you can't just upload video directly from your computer and put it into Google Slides. So I really like the ability to just edit and put a video in very easily. The other thing that I think is really important, and it's part of what I have done for many years with Google, or with Book Creator, is that publishing student work is important. I know that you can share Google Slides. I get that, right? There's no problem sharing. But one of the things that really makes a difference is when you say you are a published author because you made a book. That makes a huge difference with kids. And then the last thing that I think I would say is that there's just a stigma, right? When you say to students, we're going to make a Google slide, I know exactly what you're going to get. I hate to say it, but it's going to be a bunch of bullet points and a few pictures and a whole lot of boredom. That's my opinion. All right. Not Book Creator's opinion. That's me. That's where I'm coming from with this one. I just think there's a stigma attached to Google Slides, Keynote, PowerPoint. There's a stigma. But when you say to somebody, we're going to make a book and publish it for the world, it's a whole different conversation. And your kids, and trust me, they're going to figure that out. There is no time limit on videos. Just be mindful that the longer the video, the longer it takes the page to load. So just keep that in mind. This is going to be recorded, so we will pass this around. I see a lot of amazings, lots of possibilities. I think you're very excited. Yes, if you publish something, you can unpublish it if you decide to edit. Oh, great question. So Rochelle, actually, if you publish something and you need to edit it, just edit it. And the published link automatically changes. You don't need to redo anything. So I think that's a really great tool. So Mary, hopefully I answered that question for you. Sarah, I'm intimidated to use this. Sarah, don't be intimidated. I'm telling you, get in there, push a couple buttons. You're going to play around with this. I think you're going to have fun. But I definitely use this for.
I encourage everyone to. I know we're getting some that they're thinking, I don't know how to do this for distance learning. Remember, today was just getting started. We did do a home learning one. We have a ton of them, which is posted at the end of the book that will be shared with you. I really encourage you to look at additional webinars. We do one just for remote learning. That should help as well. So don't feel too overwhelmed just yet.
Yeah, and Jenny, I'm sorry. I know it's fast. It's a lot to get into an hour. But again, the video is going to be shared with you. So go back and watch it. And join us tomorrow, because the best way that you're going to be able to understand this is to get in and play around with it and have some fun. Okay, it's going to be okay. I promise. And I've already seen Sarah's. I already made a book and published it after last webinar. So great, good stuff. Okay, I am going to have to bail. I need to get this other webinar set up. I do appreciate everybody's time. Thank you so much, Kathy. You're in great hands. Catherine is going to finish this off for you. And again, thank you, IDEA, for allowing us to do this. I'm very much looking forward to tomorrow. I can't wait to see what kind of books you make. So, Catherine, it's all on you now. Thanks. Okay. I'll talk to you all later.
I know there were some questions about resources. There is an entire resource hub. We have one for distance learning as well. There's a ton of resources that you can look at. Like I said before, attend that home learning or remote learning with Book Creator. That's going to help you a lot, where we just go into ideas of how to get students started from afar. I know this seemed a little fast, so I do apologize for that. But just know that it's going to take some time to just dive into it. Look at the other webinars, participate in tomorrow, and I tell you it's going to be easier than you think. Perfect. You can see the webinar from our last one right there. There's the link. You're going to have the chat after this too. How do I add to this practice book on this webinar? If you just want to look through the chat, the directions are there too. You're going to get all of this in an email right after that IDEA is going to send out. The books that are going to be there for you to look at would be the playground, as well as this one as well. So you'll see those. The code is going to be there, so you can play around with it at your own pace. If you look in this as well at the end, there's going to be a ton of other resources that you can look at. Okay. I think, how do you delete something on a slide? My mind is, all you need to do is, if I went into, let's say here, and I wanted to delete something, if I want to delete my picture, I can either click on it, just press delete with my key, or I can click on what needs to be deleted or changed. I use my inspector button. Remember, there's only 2 buttons you really need to teach the kiddos and yourself, plus inspector, I'm adding media to my page. Now I want to change the media. So I click on that inspector. I can click delete right there. If I deleted it, I can also click undo and it will pop back up. Same thing with just the delete on your keyboard. I also encourage you to go to the support page. I'll post it again in the chat, but I use this every day working with teachers. There's step-by-step tutorials on basically almost everything, so look there too if you have any questions. Let's see, I'm looking at some of these.
How is it different
it.
from Adobe Spark? Have you used their book creator or story creators?
Yeah, and I did put in the chat. If you can just follow up with that via email, that would be helpful,
Okay.
rather than going into another program on the webinar.
Okay.
Can you crop a photo after inserting it? You cannot crop. What you can do is you can just resize it, but there's not a cropping specific. If you went into the comics, you could upload, if I wanted to add a page, you could upload a specific photo right into that, and that's kind of cropped, but there's not a cropping feature. Any other questions? If you can just type them in. We just have a few more minutes. If you want to look through this book too, once you receive it, John has a bunch of other stuff he will store in it, but I'm going to just go to the end because we have some idea slides as well.
Can students sell books? I have some students at school that want to sell their writing to earn money, kind of like a lemonade stand.
Yes. So what you can do is you can put these onto, you can import them onto the iBook store. You can also see that on the support page, but then people can download them if they want. You could also, I know some schools have sold different volumes to books too, so you could always do that too.
Okay, thank you.
That'll go right on the iBook store. I have a question about the background. All you would do is, if I wanted to create a new page, let's see if I can do this, and I wanted to change the background of the page, all I do is go to the inspector button, and now I have all my different backgrounds that I can choose from, whatever I want to do. Like I said, all of the, you'll be able to see a recording like with this. You can look at the support video, attend our other webinars. So you'll receive this book at the end. We have a ton of different webinars. I highly encourage the remote learning. I know IDEA also posted that in here. They have them available on the Wednesday webinars. Feel free to watch that. I think that's really helpful. This was just a remote learning, then we were doing getting started, and then tomorrow's the project where we're going to dive in and practice. So I would encourage to do that. Do we need to create our book for tomorrow, or can we just practice on the shared book? You don't have to create a book for tomorrow. We're going to be sharing another book with you all that has task cards in it. And then you're going to be playing around with it at your own pace. You don't need to create any. Okay.
There was one question, Catherine, about the arrange button. So moving an image forward, backward.
Okay. So let's say I wanted to, like, I have my text here, my name. I would just click on it. Now I'm going to go to the inspector because I want to change that. So, and then are you talking about this, the move front back?
I think that's what they were talking about, yeah.
Okay, cool. So then you would just put it, you can see it goes behind there. You can do that with really anything. I've seen teachers or even students, they'll use the record button and they'll record the little speech bubble, and then they'll put it behind a picture. So it's almost when they click on it, then the image will talk and so forth. So you can do that with really anything you put on the page.
I think I'm accidentally in here as a student account, or should I be in a student account?
Should be as a teacher.
Okay, so if
And for some reason you accidentally signed up as a student, just email one of us and we can go and manually change you to a teacher.
Okay, thank you. That would be me.
If you have access to a library and you're able to create a library, you're in as a teacher.
Oh, okay. But it still says students, so that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, just shoot me an email.
Thank you.
Cool. Can we just watch tomorrow? No, you do not. Yeah, if you just want to watch tomorrow, completely fine. I'm one that needs to watch and then practice on my own. But I think tomorrow it's going to be very simple. It's just going to be answering some task cards and creating different pages. So I highly recommend just diving in, and then you're going to see the features being used too. It's a good practice. Okay. And then I'm going to send that on over. If you have any other questions, like I said, you can follow us on Twitter, email, and we can help you out. I'll send it back over to you.
Perfect. So thank you so much. This was a crazy amount of information, but I definitely had fun playing with it. So it seems like everybody else did as well. I'm going to, since we're just coming up to the hour, I'm pasting in the information into the chat for your PDH. So go ahead and use that link to get your one PDH for attending today. If you attend tomorrow, we'll be issuing a different link for tomorrow. So fill out that information there. You'll also see on the screen, we're running webinars Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just about every week right now. So obviously tomorrow is the follow-up to today's webinar with Book Creator again. So join us at noon using the same Zoom link that you had today. Then next Tuesday, we have one scheduled with Strut Learning, and we're going to be talking about SEL and how you can use this online tool to measure SEL. So there is a whole, it's a cool thing. So definitely check this out. You know, can technology meet the needs of today's diverse learners, especially in this remote learning time period? So you can sign up for that one. And all of our webinars, all of our activities can actually be signed up for on our website at ideaillinois.org/calendar. I'll put that in there in just a second. And then this slide, if you haven't looked at our Ideas for At-Home Learning webpage yet, please go ahead and do so. We have a slew of resources. We're trying to keep it not overwhelming, but all of our webinar recordings, all of our virtual office hours that we're doing 2 times a day right now are housed on there for you to go back and review, check out, get resources, all that good stuff. So definitely please take advantage of looking at that as well. I will put right now that link in there for if you want to https://ideaillinois.org/calendar, if I could spell correctly. And you can go to that link to sign up for any of our other webinars. Otherwise, you don't need to sign up again for tomorrow. You registered already. Just use the same Zoom link, and we hope to see you tomorrow. So definitely join us. If you have any other questions, Catherine and I will hang out for just another minute or two. Otherwise, save any questions for tomorrow even. So we will see you then. Thanks so much.
Yeah, bye everyone.
Bye, thank you very much.
You guys are so welcome.
Okay, I do think you switched mine to the 40 book plan, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh boy.
Somebody asked, is there a single sign-on for or a simple sign-on for littles? Do you guys, I think we asked this question in the last one. Do you guys work with Clever or?
Yes. So for the Clever, what I can do is I can send you the support, but there's 2 ways that would be easier for the little ones. Either Clever, if they have that access at home. I know some schools are having difficulty with that, but you can log on right with a single sign-on. There is a support article on our webpage that you'd want to give to a tech admin, and they can make sure that Book Creator is set up for Clever. Other option is QR codes. So if you want the QR codes, you can. If you go to your setting area, my library, click on my whatever your avatar, and then you can click on QR logins. That you're going to have a QR login for each one of your students. It's not going to be the easiest thing to send right now to them, but once you screenshot it, email it out, now the student has their login that they can use every single time. and that will access into the library. So that's another option that you can have. All of those directions on that support page. Just type in QR codes are clever and you'll see an entire tutorial. What was the SEL information? Let me see if I can put that back up real quick. I think that was for, let me see, it's on that last page on here. It's also on IDEA website as well. This one. Cool. You all are so welcome. Thanks for joining us. I know it was quick. Remember, this was just getting started. The remote learning one will be really helpful. All right, Anne, I will shoot you an email once that's done. Thanks for sending that.
Amy, yes, we will.
Alrighty.
Okay, everybody. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to let Catherine go do her thing. So thanks so much, Catherine. Thanks to John as well. And we will see you guys tomorrow.
Sounds great. Bye, everyone.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.